So GraphQL is basically a combination of a query, schema, and type. So here I will add three folders: one query, one schema, and type. So basically type are what we have in the model, but we have to explicitly say this model is also a GraphQL type. So we will convert this model to GraphQL type. So for that we need to install a one NuGet packet. Here browse, I will say GraphQL.server. Okay, and here just search for GraphQL.server the transports ASP.NET Core system text JSON. This, if you cannot see this in list, just click on include pre-release. Now I will say install latest version. I'm installing. Okay, accept. Okay, so now it is installed. Okay, there is a one more package. There is a GraphQL. This is basically as a part of your UI. In a browser you will see a different suggestions will come that these are the columns accepted as a GraphQL query. So I will install this, and this is basically a middleware in .NET Core. Okay, it is also installed. Now go back to your type and let's create one order type. Order type, and I will inherit object graph type. But now I need to tell what object graph type is. Basically order info. Here I will just rename to order info graph type. Okay, now it is perfect. Order info and order info type. This is a GraphQL type of this model. To map this, we will create a one constructor and we will specify field map for that type. I will say order ID, order number, order date, and one more is left, details. Before implement, I will come to this about details. Okay, now these three will be automatically come in the suggestions in the GraphQL query in the browser. Okay, now to implement this, let's uncomment this now. I need to specify what is the types, what is the type of this detail. Okay, so here in the field I need to tell that this is a list graph type. So instead of list we can use list graph type because this is my GraphQL type class and GraphQL type constructor. I cannot use list here but list graph type. I am telling my GraphQL compiler that this is my GraphQL type. And what is the GraphQL model of this? This order details. So I will say order details. Okay, and here I will say just details. Now it is giving me error. Why? Because type of GraphQL cannot call this model. This GraphQL type will communicate with the another GraphQL type. So we need to create GraphQL type for this order details. So here I will add order details type.cs, and here also I will say this is my object graph type, and what is this graph type? Basically order details. Okay, now let's create a constructor for this same. Here I can say my this field is mapping to order detail ID, product ID, product name, product quantity, price. Now this is uh, order detail type. Now this we can use here. Okay, so only GraphQL types can communicate with each other. So here we have order info type, and here we have list graph type, and list graph type can communicate with the GraphQL type of a model. So here that is why we have created a GraphQL type of this order details. Remove unnecessary using. So now this was all about the uh, GraphQL type. Okay, so what we have done, we have installed dependencies of this GraphQL, and that another library, that is a GraphQL server text system text JSON. We have created a type of this order info type, GraphQL type, and these are dependent on each other. So we have order detail types, and same we have used here. So in the next chapter we will talk about a schema and a query.